Welcome, everyone, to another beautiful Living the Legend interview here on a Red Thread Cafe. My name is Milagros Soriano Rivera. I am a Color of Woman teacher and guild member proudly. And I am here to bring you an interview and discussion with our own beautiful Sylvia Becker-Hill. And before I do, I want to extend the red thread of connection to all gathered here now and in the quantum. If you're watching this on replay, I invite you to land where you are, standing, sitting, and just connect with Mother Earth. And I want to honor the ancestors of my land here in San Antonio, the Tonkawa and the Humanos. So if you have your cuppa, please join us. Oh, this is going to be a conversation about how the Color of Woman training class and training has affected our lives, impacted our lives for those who have taken and embarked on the journey. So with that, Sylvia, can you please introduce yourself to our beautiful viewers?
Beloved viewer, I'm Sylvia Becker-Hill. You might hear my accent. I'm originally from Germany and have now the joy to live in Southern California. I was for over 22 years an executive coach, leadership trainer, and women's empowerment mentor. And now, the details you will hear in a few minutes, but now I can proudly say I'm an artist. I'm a painting artist and certified intentional creativity teacher and coach with Motherboard as well. And I'm so proud about my new found identities, and it has changed my life, my business, and with that obviously has rolling out effects onto my family life, my friend circles, and obviously my clients.
That is so beautiful. I'm glad you're here, and I know that you have an amazing story. For those of us that we know that intentional creativity primarily is a way and a powerful tool for moving energy and actually transforming our lives, how we see ourselves and the world by changing the stories that run us. A lot of the stories and the ways that we go in the world are based on the things that we were taught and the agreements that we made and actually carrying the energy and beliefs of others. Can you speak on how Color of Woman training has had a direct impact on you? Because I know you mentioned that being an artist was a childhood dream.
Yes. So let me preface it in what space I was in when I signed up for Color of Woman. I signed up for Color of Woman in December 2019, so just before the pandemic started. And I had 3 horrendous, stressful years behind me. First, personal health, cancer threat, and then 2 years of caring for my parents back in Germany, flying back and forth, my father dying, selling the belongings of my parents' house, moving my mom into a nursing home. And just the last 3 years before I signed up with Color of Women were so stressful. I was burned out. I was just exhausted. I was burned out. And I had this longing to reconnect with myself and to, the death of a parent, father or mother has an impact. So I was in a space of where I wanted to gift myself something, a training, a space, a healing modality, just something. I didn't know what it will be to recharge myself, to reconnect with myself. Because the 3 years before that, it was never about me. It was either about my health or my business, my clients. My husband had lost his job, so it was about our safety and security, and then my parents. So I was looking, and by chance, through someone else, I landed in the Red Thread Cafe here where we are meeting today. And I remember I was mesmerized and called by the depths of the paintings. I love art. I go to, wherever I travel, I go to museums, art galleries, but there was something speaking to me through the intensity and the depths of the paintings, not knowing the technology behind it at the time. I signed up literally after 4 days being in the Red Thread Cafe, have never done a course with Shiloh, have not even seen a video. I have met her just from seeing the paintings of her students. Something in me, I'm feeling tears coming up, something in me landed, and I felt coming home in a way which a German immigrant to the United States, having no family members beside my core family here, it was amazing. I had this visceral inner knowing in my body. This is what I have to do. So I signed up
Mm.
for Color of Woman and have never looked back or regretted any second of this decision. So moving now forward to what you mentioned, that was my current state. Exhausted, tired, looking to reconnect with myself, having completely forgotten that my biggest dream as a late child, then teenager, was to become an artist. I lived in a hometown with a big art academy, famous around the world. I was working on a portfolio to enroll after high school in it. And yet, because my environment, my parents, everyone was freaking out with the old stories. Are you crazy? With art, you can't make a living. The starving artist syndrome, like everyone was so
Mm.
worried. And I love my parents, and I'm their only child. And I didn't want my mom or dad to have a heart attack about me going to art academy.
Yep.
So long story short, I didn't even apply. I didn't have, this is another thing with Color of Woman, which I developed much stronger. At the time of my 18, 19 years of as a teenager, I didn't have the confidence to stand against my whole environment and also to sort of break my parents' heart. So I never became an artist. I dabbled into it every few years with these, wine and paint zip kind of
Yeah.
courses, where I paint by
Yeah.
numbers, a little bit of crafting here and there. And yet I lived my creativity through my business, which was great. I am a highly creative being, but something was missing. And I was not even aware how much it was missing when I signed up for Color of Woman.
Wow, that's powerful. Yeah. And just after 4 days of like seeing the paintings, and that just resonates with me because the power of the paintings, our paintings do speak, and the energy there, and just to witness all of these, women who probably have, just like you, or even like others that haven't painted before, to
Yeah.
bear their soul. And that's what Color of Woman is, a journey to our soul,
Yes.
and to returning to our soul. So I'm witnessing that story, and you went through a lot. You went through a lot, and I'm glad that you found your way back to yourself.
Yes, and yeah, and
Go
thanks
ahead.
to her behind me. Shall I talk about her?
Yes, I was just going to ask you,
About
what is
this
her name?
amazing being. I mean, this is I think the fourth painting in the series. So in Color of Woman, you go through, you paint a lot. You paint also some smaller projects, but in essence, there are 5 major paintings, and they all are about an archetype which you discover in you and bring forth. And for this beautiful painting, I will explain briefly soon what the name and what it means. I had put on the canvas, this is part of the process of intentional creativity. You never touch with your brush the canvas with paint before even being clear about your intention. So I had written on that canvas the intention, please help me. Yeah, let the core, most potent archetype in me emerge and make me fall in love with it in such a way that I can daily move from that archetype and live my family, my private life, and my business and my legacy through that archetype, completely not knowing what it will be. And while painting this amazing painting, its name is a German word, Pusteblume, which is translated in English means blow flower, which is one of the 2 names we Germans have for dandelion. And you see it on the top and left and right above the ears and all the seeds. And that symbol, just that, became a core symbol I use now in my business when I talk with my clients. Because for me, they are the seeds. Because I work with women leaders mainly, but men as well. They go into the world. I don't know where they land. I don't know where the seed, if the ground is fertile, how much sunshine, how much rain it will get. But I use this again and again. And my clients just love it. They love the magic of the dandelion, because we all know when you give the magic wish into the dandelion, the seeds will land, and there are so many seeds, some will sprout and will grow into amazing things. So this is one of the many, many symbols of this painting. I even created, I'm in the process of trademarking it. All my paintings are books on canvas, because there are so many different symbols where there is a story behind it. Like literally
Mm-hmm.
the angel, the brain, the neck here, the necklace. This is, by the way, this one I'm wearing.
Beautiful.
Every symbol of the painting has a story behind it. And this one here, surprisingly, was not like my other paintings about politics, what was going on in the world. I mean, last year, pandemic, hello, United States election, there was a lot of stuff going on. And in other paintings, it showed up. This one here
Mm.
was very intimate. There is the angel is the guardian angel of my core family. You can see my husband flying with his paraglider above it, and the two
Your
babies.
husband's in the painting too?
Yeah, my husband is here, the paraglider.
Oh, okay.
And here are my two sons as babies in the arms of the guardian angel. Here is my beloved male Siamese cat hero, short form hero from Hirohito. He sadly died a few weeks later. Very interesting, because I made him quite big here. He was a protective spirit for my family. And my mom is symbolized through the necklace. This was it's so significant. Before her dementia became too strong to go out shopping, this was literally our last shopping trip we did together, where she bought this necklace for me. So by bringing that necklace into the painting, it was honoring my mom.
Oh my God, I'm honoring you. Wow. I mean, like, wow. You've really put your whole life and everything you wished and wanted and desired into this painting. And now I understand the significance and that connection and that power. Yeah, I'm honoring you. Honoring you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Very
much
quickly.
for sharing.
Yeah. Very quickly to honor, not forget my dad. Here, can you see the spaceship Enterprise coming out of the orbit of the universe? And that is honoring my beloved dad, because he and I, I loved snuggling. And in Germany, at that time, we didn't have TV on demand. It was once a week. We were waiting 6 days a week for Sunday evening and snuggling on the sofa, watching Spock and Live Long and Prosper. So that's my dad, right? So you could say, Sylvia, this is quite a literal symbolism, quite a simple painting. Why does it have such an impact? Well, the thing is, with intentional creativity, while you make your movements, while you draw and paint, energy is moving, energy is shifting. And before I put anything on it, there was an intention behind it, and something which probably, because we can't zoom into it, you can't see in the eyes of the pupil in the eyes, there's a key, there's a white key. So when you are standing in front of that painting, it has a very mesmerizing, strong effect. And the message is, you are the key. Because you, Milagros, when you stand in front of me, you are reflected in my pupils. So when you're standing in front of her, my Pusteblume, she sees you as the key, you are the key. You are the key. And this is, beloved viewer here, you are the key. You are the key to change in the world. The world is in need of so much healthy change, and we need more leaders. We need more intentional creativity teachers. Absolutely.
Yes, we do. And I am so honored to be in her eyesight and to be witnessed by her. And one of the practices here in intentional creativity as part of Color Woman is for us to actually observe our lives as an observer. And that helps us do the work that we need to do. And the painting then witnesses us. So thank you for bringing that to light as well. Oh my goodness. Your story is just amazing. Wow. And and I love it, because it's like we look at a painting and you just see this, this thing. It is so alive, and you've just helped us see how important and how powerful it is, a breathing part of you.
And maybe I explained the moment how the artist showed up.
Yep.
So here on the left, you see this big brain, because when I grew up in Germany, my parents both had strong PTSD from the Second World War. And my grandparents lived with us, they too. I was a single child. So make a long story short, there was so much doom energy and grief in the house I lived as a young child, completely subconscious, not having words or understanding for it. I decided to cut my head off from the rest of my body because it was too painful to feel. So the first nearly 30 years of my life, I was living in my mind. I read books were my first friends. I ate books for breakfast. By my age of 30, I have read over 10,000 books and I had 2 university degrees. I was always the best in class. So the brain was my old identity. I'm this brilliant, brilliant brain. That's Sylvia, the lady with the brain, right? Everyone knew me as that. And while painting, and this is the magic of intentional creativity, you set your intention. My intention was that the most potent archetype will emerge. And the things you see, they are not constructed from the mind. They flow through the whispers of the muse, through your intuitive hand movements out of you. So suddenly I saw myself painting a paint palette with a brush, and the word in it, it's a German word for now, because there's a step in the process where you make a declaration for what you are ready now. What's your mission? Yeah. And oh my gosh, I'm crying again. I will never forget my whole life, the moment of declaration where I declared that I'm now ready to share my riches with the world freely and unbridled. And I put this kind of declaration, my handwriting, which you can't see, on top of the painting. And that was literally the birthing moment of me as an artist. And here I am. Here I am. I was I think I was for around 12 weeks on a neurophysiological super high, as if you have infused me with, I don't know names of drugs because I never take drugs. I don't know drugs, but I felt like elevated, floating, despite pandemic, despite my husband having lost his job, despite finances being tight. Shiloh simply took the lid of my creativity, which was already quite high, but now it was effervescent. I launched 5 businesses from that moment of discovery. The painting was not fully finished and dried, and I launched my coaching plus art online business with Zoom workshops using the smaller processes. In Color of Woman, you learn how to facilitate intentional creativity. Painting classes is the wrong word. Transformational workshops which use intentional creativity. So I launched that, and then 2 weeks later, I launched my online merchandise account. And here I want to show you. This is one of my beautiful products from Pusteblume. Where are the eyes? Here. This is
wow.
A fluffy blanket, which is now always laying on our family sofa, and my boys are fighting over it. I always said, hey, I can buy a few more. No. It's a fun. Yeah, everyone wants to snuggle with Pusteblume in the evening. So that was 2 weeks later. Then another 2 weeks later, I realized, oh, there is something like wearable art. I didn't know that you can wear art on your body, and not, I don't have Pusteblume for that to show, but other painting here.
Yes, I love that. I saw that on you.
Yes.
Yes, beautiful.
This is one of the other paintings from Color of Woman. And here is another one. This is a dress. This is a top. So I have 4 collections in the moment of wearable art, and that was months launched after I had this breakthrough. That was the next business. Then, because we had to produce also our own portfolio book, I did it. I thought, okay, if I have to do the work to create a book, I don't want it just to be for me and maybe one aunt or one fan. I want it to be professionally done so that people can buy it. Here's the ISBN number. And I don't like self-publishing. It doesn't have such a good business image. So I launched my own publishing house, BH Books. Here it is, BH Books. That was week 6. After my breakthrough with that painting, I launched my publishing house, which is now, a year later, my core business, which I didn't know at the time. At the time, I did it just for this book.
And you did all of this, not even finishing Color of Woman. This was like right in the middle, just after painting this painting, you just went off and it just flowed.
It just flowed. After the launch of the first webpage, where I had these tiny $27 Zoom workshops, and my first, and because of the pandemic, only in-person painting a workshop over a weekend to get certified. You have to do that. Mm-hmm. I sold them all, and in the first months, I made through that webpage with all these little intentional creativity courses and offerings and beautiful gifts, over $3,000 in the first month.
Wow. So you were able to pay for the course even?
Yes, yeah. The first month, 3,000. Then my clothes made another 1,000. A few weeks later, there was a big sale around an American holiday. Maybe it was Labor Day or something. Yeah. So $1,000.
Huh?
Yeah. So by the end of the year, I had all the cost of not only the course but also the canvases, the paint, the brushes. I had it all already recovered.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. And I'm going to share the links to your book as well as your merchandise in the comments on the live once we're done, so that anyone wants to see or take a look, purchase anything, definitely will.
Yeah. The book, not to be shocked, because it has full of colorful pages, it's super expensive, but you can get the Kindle for free. There's a trick through Blurb, through the link I give you, and there's a preview. You can, like a flip book. And so you zoom in into Flipbook because it's literally my journal about the whole Color of Woman process.
Right. Yeah. And you just really quickly about the book, you also mentioned that you love the fact that it basically comprises of a lot of your journey, like your comments and your shares in the app that we use for our coursework.
This is another brilliant offering. As part of the course, you become a member of a community, and you become a member of literally an online group, but not only Facebook. So it's outside Facebook, so that it's a safe space, no advertising, no distraction. It's an app based. So on your smartphone, you have access to an app. You can do it on desktop too. And there, when we process, we are invited to share. So I did a lot of sharing of the so-called underpaintings of my Pusteblume process. So every step along the way, I wrote about it on the app, and you can download those journal entries. So you have your own diary about your own process. And I just read them here for the preparation of our interview. And I was positively shocked and amazed what deep processes, how I was, and I remember now sometimes laying for several days in bed at night, I couldn't fall asleep at night because I was so excited, wanting to get back to the painting because the muse was calling me. I mean, my husband, he was so ambivalent because on one hand he was so proud and happy, but on the other hand he was like, oh my gosh, my wife's creativity is taking up so much space. He literally, because we needed more wall space for the amazing paintings, he closed a French door to our garden and closed it up. The doors are gone, made it break a whole wall, painted it inside so that we had more wall space for my paintings.
At least they're not in the closet, so you're good.
So this is a warning, beloved viewer. If you sign up, prepare your husband to create more wall space.
And you're lucky if he's a carpenter, huh? So even your husband is going to end up being creative. Thank you so much for sharing that. I just had a couple more questions I wanted to ask you. Yes. One of them was like, what would you like to have known going into Color of Woman? If someone were to tell you something about Color of Woman prior to you starting, what would that be?
Talent is not necessary. You have the freedom to color over the lines. I don't explain it, but it's a big thing for me because I was a German perfectionist, and rules and boundaries were like rock solid things I couldn't go over. So yes, you can paint and draw over the lines. And the third one is to pace yourself. And with pacing, I mean, take breaks, drink lots of water, and just know it's a gorgeous, beautiful, safe process, and it can be intense. Yeah, some paintings don't go as deep. You never know. It's just be prepared. So pace yourself, sleep a lot, and book more time simply for yourself in your own calendar. For me, there was suddenly a bit of friction when a big business project and Color of Woman were overlapping, and for 2 3 weeks I lacked sleep or didn't go on walks, etc. So I
Mhm.
think pacing and making space for self-care is part of the
So true.
gift we give ourselves as women to go through Color of Woman.
Yes, thank you. That healing time, definitely. What would you say is the best thing about Color Woman?
Mm. Oh, that's a tough one. Can I only say one or can I quickly say
You
three?
can, you can say, you can say any, meeny,
Okay.
miny, mo.
So, so another surprise side effect was for me that I still have a gorgeous, gorgeous sister squad, yeah, a mini group we had created. And first, it was about accountability, which sounds so, mental and left brain. We are still together. We still meet
Mhm.
once a week. So, community.
Yes.
Community was a deep, beautiful surprise side effect for me. Then obviously for me, of course, the that I'm now an artist is for me, I think would be probably number one. And the third thing is I didn't expected Color of Woman to literally spread in all areas of my life. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not a hobby, yeah, or it's not just business. It's not about just my self-development. It's everywhere. I mean, my no one can visit us without getting infected. I mean, every visitor, we have conversations about the painting. So it impacts everything. And I think that's glorious. My whole life is transformed.
Oh, and I'm just witnessing you because you just said that, and that was the intention you said you set when you started. So now you can actually see the evidence that it actually worked. You know, because we'll sit there, we'll say we don't believe it, but then we have to look at the painting and remind ourselves we did that.
Thank
So
you for pointing
honoring
that
you for
out.
that, yes. Wow. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for sharing your journey, your beautiful painting, the beautiful things that Color of Woman has given you and what you're giving back to the community and your world and your beloveds. I want to just honor you on your journey, and I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to get to know you better through your journey and your talents woman. Thank you also for those who have been watching us. I want to just say thank you for joining us. And I'd like to just remind you that the Color of Women priority registration is ending on September 15th, which is next Wednesday. So if you are on the fence about joining us, please, my invitation is to sign up now. That way our team can get your application and review it. If you'd like to speak to a graduate just to further solidify your decision and help you process your thoughts and whether you're going to join or not, you can do that. If you need financial assistance, you can also put in that you'd like to request a partial scholarship, and we can take a look at that when we receive your application. So I'm inviting you again to please apply now, and that way we'll have time to receive your application, look it over, and provide any future support that you might need in the decision making process. Color of Women starts October 1st, so in just a few weeks. So if you're going to do it, now's the time. And you see that Sylvia is proof that it has so much to offer if you truly give yourself the gift of this journey to your own soul and your soul work, what you're here to claim and cause and create. Um, Sylvia's pretty much given us everything we need about the course. You'll be going through 9 months, 5 paintings, led by Sean and Sophia, supported by wonderful guild members and graduates who have already been through the experience. And it can be so lucrative in so many ways: emotional, spiritual, transformational. You can just bring your gifts into everything, yeah, you can make products from your process. Every painting is an opportunity, and there you go, the key, right? Yes, you are the
You
key to your own
you are the key.
transformation. I see that. Thank you so much for being the legendary woman that you are, and the legendary women that you are watching us. May love be at the center of all choices. Have a beautiful day, and we will be back next week with the lovely Phyllis Ann Taylor. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.